Hello. It's actually 2:22 on the clock, and I was about to take my sister's dog, my brother-in-law, my sister's dog on a walk, which I'm still going to do. But I just got a ping of inspiration to sit down and to hit record. I do have a microphone plugged in, and I'm not sure if it is working. I'm trying to test it, but yeah, I'm not sure. So let's hope it's working. Yeah, maybe there's something that you are also testing out, perhaps, or maybe you will be soon. Yeah, I'm seeing like a montage of someone like trying on a bunch of like old clothes and maybe looking online or like window shopping for a new aesthetic. So of course the clothes can be literal, it can also be metaphoric, or both. 111 on the timer. A song just popped in my head. Dream a little dream of me, I think is the way it goes. Okay, so I had to pause for a few minutes, and I decided to listen to that song, Dream a Little Dream of Me. There might be something about that sort of type of expression, whether it's like via music or that time period that the song was released or something of that nature for someone here. I don't know, I'm getting this like antique, nostalgic type of like, you know, Marilyn Monroe. I did not mean to say Marilyn Monroe. Maybe someone here has been looking into her. I'm not sure why I meant to say something else. I felt a ping on the left side of my chest. I'm seeing cleavage. Yeah, there's something about like romanticizing. So even if it's not that genre of music or like movies, there's something, whatever makes you feel romanticized, like you're romanticizing something, that's coming through super strongly. And I just had a dream of a previous mentor. She was my Reiki master instructor. I haven't talked to her in a long time, but she was in my dream like 2 nights ago. And she's a jazz singer, actually. So jazz can be significant, but I've always wanted to hear her sing jazz live, and I've never gotten the chance to. Maybe I will. But anyway, she reached out to my mom, and I'm going back to Philly soon, in a few weeks from when I'm recording this, for a short stay. And anyway, she asked to get like coffee with me and my mom, and then I started just thinking about like previous mentors. So this is like kind of coming through as right, the nostalgia, the mentors. There's something about my screen just went black, stepping into like an elevation of whatever it is that you've been, you know, whether you've been a mentor, a mentee, or both. Like there's something about those past experiences, people, places, things, memories, like coming back because there's like this level up happening. And if you haven't had any like actual mentors, you know, maybe you've been like getting a certification or going to school or self-studying or multiple things, you know. I just heard mixed media. That could be for someone. But yeah, so it feels like there's yeah, just like an expansion or a level up in that. And I'm seeing these like beautiful yesterday an opalescent butterfly was coming through, and today it's like opalescent, like roses, peonies, flowers. I heard daffodil. I'm seeing like opalescent or pearlescent petals. It's really beautiful. Okay. Yeah, like rose water, some sort of like scent or perfume, oils could be coming through. for someone. You could, for some of you, you could be like working with your own like pH, and maybe you're like rebalancing something within yourself, and you may be like noticing that you feel like you smell more balanced or flowery or something like that, like florals, and yeah, or like utilizing these type of scents, maybe like bringing out your own natural scent. There's something like that coming through. Pheromones. Pheromones. When I said that, my right temple ached, and I like I'm a little uncomfortable, but like in a blushy way. Yeah, so for some of you, this could involve also romance, to the 7th house of relationships in astrology, but okay, 555 on the timer. Yeah, the theme has been changes in the air, and I really felt today like I needed a little extra like frequency music, meditation music, subliminals. So the last few nights I've been having, maybe we can call it subconscious purging or rewiring, where I feel like certain things have been, like fragments have been highlighted, so that like I've been having these emotional releases, and now it's like the subconscious is making sense and sort of realigning things. So some of you may be going through this as well, whether you remember your dreams or not. There's many ways to work with the subconscious, of course. So yeah. But a theme that I realized, and I usually write my dreams on my phone in the notes section. I used to have a journal, but I felt like I couldn't keep up because so much information was coming through. And now I've been releasing it to Gemini, and as well, like a mix between my phone and Gemini. Anyway, so I've realized a theme that I've had over the years, and that came through again last night, where I have dreamt of like people that in our view, when I say our, there's like a collective current for like the masses of what is viewed as like quote successful. You know, I'm not saying that everyone agrees with this, but this just seems to be like a collective current. And I've had multiple astral and Akash viewings via the dream state of like people who are very well known. Ow, I just hit my elbow. Funny bone. I just heard funny girl. Maybe Barbara Streisand, and my left ear just like opened up so much. I'm not sure why that's. I think Barbara Streisand was funny girl. I've actually never seen that, but that's coming through for someone. And now my whole left arm is going numb and tingly. I don't know what's going on there, but she is not one of the people who I've had a dream about. But for some reason, that's coming through. And I don't know her life story, so if that connects to someone, please let me know. I have heard, actually, recently she came up that, I think it was Barbara Streisand, that she has like stage fright and stopped performing live most of the time. Something of that nature. So I have been talking a bit about like overcoming stage fright. And if it's not actual stage fright, like something equivalent to that. So that could be part of this subconscious rewiring, you know, like some people call it like visibility wounds. And like someone like an icon like Barbara Streisand, like I wouldn't guess that she had stage fright, you know. So you never know what someone is going through. But aside from that, so this collective current that's been coming through my dream, like a repeating pattern, where so far I didn't choose the people who came through. This is just where my dream astral view took me. It mostly, for some reason, comes through the Kardashians, and I'm not like I don't like follow their lives very much, at least not anymore. Maybe like years ago a little bit, but even then not much. But for some reason they come in my dreams all the time. And last night it was Oprah Winfrey, and I do not know much about Oprah either. I didn't really watch her show too much, but the same theme comes through of like there were points in their wealth journey, I guess you could say, where I would be shown how they were in the era of like what most people in America at least would be considered like wealthy, but not at their top, you know, not where their empire is like at their peak, but like pretty close. And there was like this overview or like an aerial view I would see of their lives where they were just like still really like grounded, but also, you know, financially free and like balanced in a lot of areas of their lives, you know, like many areas. And then it will show different points where they're not anymore. And so I think for this like next wave of like wealth consciousness that a lot of people are stepping into, you know, like the quantum, I think, is pinging out those who are ready to receive this next phase of wealth consciousness, basically. And I know there's like a big craze right now in some circles and YouTube communities and different platforms about, you know, manifesting your dream life and all that stuff. So yeah, this is just a really interesting perspective that's been shown to me over the years. And last night I was having personal experiences in the dream, but I wound up on this bus in Florida, but it was like a plane. You know, in dreams sometimes I call it like astral physics, like it's not the same mechanics as this realm. So I was like on a bus, but then it would kind of like shift to a plane, and then the bus driver would like turn into a pilot. So there was like a little bit of that going back and forth. And I was sitting down and I like kind of saw Oprah in like a different time period of her life, and she was with this man. I don't know anything about her status today, and of course this is just coming through as like a symbol or like a collective the word is not coming to me. Symbolism, you know, like she's representing like a collective of like a life path, if you will. And I'm not saying anything is like wrong or right, it's just the way it's coming through. Where, yeah, so it was really interesting because I could like hear a narration. So it was almost like I was like watching, like they say in the Akash, you know, there's like this movie, like a movie projector comes up. So it's almost like I was watching in real time, like a narration of a different time in the life of it manifested as Oprah, but take it as however you know, it would come through, and like the collective wealth. And she was like very in love with this person she was with. They were like, they looked really good together, not in like a superficial way, but just like they were so happy, and they were like almost like teenagers, you know, like that like teenager kind of love. But I don't know, there was just this like lightness and fun. You know, they were on this like bus adventure, and like she already had a lot of money, so they weren't taking the bus because they necessarily needed to. They were just on an adventure together on a public bus, and they were having like the best time. And then I could hear like the narration of her saying like, you know, that was the one who got away, and like her wealth empire just kind of took over everything else in her life. And now again, I'm not saying that this is true, this is just coming through as like an archetype of a lot of people who come into that sort of wealth and maybe lose sight or lose that work-life balance. So again, this wave of the next collective, some have already stepped into this, and some are stepping into this more physically. Some is just more of like an etheric currency right now that's trickling in. Yeah, that there's going to be this more well-rounded sort of prioritization of the inner self as well, so that the outer world is more balanced, which is really beautiful. I hope that's true. Yeah, so I'm looking for the audio. I'm not used to recording on my computer, so okay. And so in like maybe more some of like hidden or shadow aspects of this, I know that there's a lot going on, and I was not expecting to be speaking of this, but I know there's a lot going on with like seemingly shiny facades that are sort of crumbling, and truth bombs are just sort of trickling in and exploding all over the place with, you know, like different different things. I'm not going to name anything right now at the moment, but yeah, that's just sort of also like truths are coming. And so, well, they're here and they're still coming, you know, so very Plutonian reveal. Anyway, so that just wanted to come through, and that is not at all what I thought this was going to be leading towards, but I've also been getting this this came through a little while ago. I don't remember when, but it was like the minute before. I think there is a tarot deck, like the before tarot or the after tarot. I've never had a deck like that, but I'm seeing this as like a current energy. So like and I've been seeing the number 151 in so many places. You could be seeing that 151. It's like alignment through change is what I heard the phrase, and my voice kind of cracked as I said that. But there's and also like fifth house, like Leo rules the fifth house, creativity, inner child, you know, like that sort of thing that is permeating, just kind of like my dream was showing, you know. And the defragmentation of the subconscious that come back together in this more fluid flow frequency is what's coming in. And yesterday's transmission spoke about like stepping into that sort of anchoring of what you want to experience more so than maybe what you're already experiencing. You know, embodying whatever that is that you feel you're evolving into. So I know that I've also been playing in that realm, if you will. And so like I think it's the before tarot, or the minute after, something like that. But that's what I'm getting, like maybe like you're seeing 11:10 a lot right before it turns 11:11. Like you're right in that, like you're there, but you're almost like a little ahead of time, or a little like parts of you are already in this alignment phase, but there's still there's still something that hasn't come in yet, or it's about to. That's what it feels like. So I also kept seeing like a seedling that had sprouted like some growth. I think that also came through recently. So yeah, it's like whatever, even if it seems smaller, like harvest that has started to show itself, or new life, new growth, sort of. I just saw a fern for someone. Yeah, it's like tending to that and continuing to plant new seeds when you feel that call. But yeah, that was coming through really strongly. And I remember at some point I released a transmission about the year 1958, which was like so specific. And then I kept seeing 1957. And that's what gave me another deepening of that energy of like the seed that was planted, let's say the year or the minute or whatever before the sprout. And there seems like there's something really important about that root, or about that seeding or planting. You know, it's almost like different versions of ourselves are coming forth, like parallel aspects. And I just got tingles on the right side of my skull, like the bottom of the skull. Oh my god, I have chills like everywhere. Yeah, so you could be starting or deepening to have like parallel experiences, whether it's through dreams, meditation, readings, daydreams, watching movies of that nature, reading books. Like there's something about the parallel. Kabbalah is coming through. And I keep seeing, this like plasma screen, like the Kosh plasma screen coming in. Normally for me it comes in like an ultraviolet light. But for someone, like I'm seeing like almost like liquid rainbow, like a liquid rainbow coming in. And I have seen that as well, just not in a screen form. For me, the liquid rainbow comes in very different ways. So someone could be having experiences like that as well. A song just popped in my head. It's a Pink song. Raise your glass. There's something about glasses. Maybe you're having like glasses breaking. I realize glasses can be like, the vessel you drink out of, or also the ones that go on your face. So there's something about a dual meaning as well. shattering the glass ceiling, limiting beliefs, however it wants to come through for you. Repeating force, and whew. Interesting. I just was taken back to some of my notes and I wrote down layover, dream, not miss anything, and the song Paula Abdul, Forever Your Girl, has been coming through in the weirdest ways as well. Which I thought it was Madonna at first, but it's not. I had to look it up. It's Paula Abdul. Yeah, and I've been having so many dreams about planes, trains, buses, you know, so there's something definitely about elevation in transportation, both physically and etherically. And I was talking about co-creating on the Portal to Ascension transmission conference that I did, Re-Evolution of Consciousness, this past weekend. There was a lot about like co-creating the Sophia feminine vessel aspect, or like co-creating these ways that our consciousness transports through and giving it these vessels to transport through. So yeah, it feels like this is really highlighted at the moment. And some of you may feel like, metaphorically, some of you literally are in this sort of layover. And I've been having dreams that depict that as well, where you're going from like one place to another, but then you have like an extended layover, you know, these transition layover periods. And this also is connecting me to like grid work. So some of you may be feeling connected to my left temple just started to like tighten. Deepening your connection and or becoming more conscious of the grid work that you're doing. Yeah. Okay. I actually think I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for listening. Whatever you're going through or not going through or stepping into, yeah, this feels like an exciting time. For a lot of us collectively, I love that this idea of like the collective current and like currency, and how like those of us who are sort of valuing our own internal currency in a more like the phrase self-love is coming through, but I'm hoping I can think of something a little bit more rounded. But yeah, that's coming in. So it feels like it really is like rippling out this next type of experience that a lot of us are going to be and are already embodying. So that's exciting. All right, thank you.